Welcome to this session on communication skills. Communication skills are the foundation stones of our employability. If we can communicate well, it means that we can build relationships, we can work with others, we can learn from others, we can contribute. Now, we grow up communicating, so sometimes we take these skills for granted and we don't think that we can improve, but we can. If we work on our communication skills, we give ourselves a much greater chance of getting opportunities to work, and we give ourselves a greater chance of making the most of those opportunities. So, first, we're going to look at two of the main skills in communication: speaking and listening. How you communicate one-to-one and within groups is a critical part of what it is to be a professional. And this starts with the way that you talk to others and with the way that you listen to others. Talking and listening are two skills that we need to learn and improve on. Although we all grow up talking and listening in our personal lives, we need to learn how to talk and listen within a professional context. There are techniques that we can employ that help us to communicate better with those around us. These techniques will help us to understand what others want from us and will help others to understand us. How we talk to people will define the kind of relationships that we have with them. If you talk with clarity and with respect, you are more likely to develop a positive working relationship with the people around you. How we talk to others reflects a great deal about the people we are. When we talk clearly and honestly to others, they will warm to us and respect us. If we talk in a negative, aggressive, or disrespectful way to those around us, it could damage the perception that others will have of us. When you're conversing with someone else, when you're having a conversation with someone else, listening is as important as talking. It's very important to become a good listener, to become an active listener when you start your professional career. This will help you in a number of ways. When we listen, we learn. Listening means paying attention to others and really hearing what they're saying. Good listeners will be able to develop themselves more quickly as professionals, as they will constantly be building their knowledge and awareness. Listening is also a key part of building positive relationships with others. When we listen to someone, we show them respect. Equally, by not listening to someone, you show them that you're not interested in what they have to say, and this can damage the way that others perceive you. So being a good talker and a good listener are incredibly valuable skills that will help you to gain employment and help you to progress throughout your career. I'd like us now just to look at some of the principles of listening, this most important skill. So number 1, stop talking. Don't talk, listen. When someone else is talking, listen to what they're saying. Don't interrupt, talk over them, or finish their sentences for them. Stop and just listen. Number 2, prepare yourself to listen. Relax. Focus on the speaker. Put other things out of your mind. We can often get very distracted by other thoughts. What's for lunch? What time do I need to catch my train or my bus? Try to put those other thoughts out of your mind and concentrate on the messages that are being communicated. Number 3, put the speaker at ease. Help the speaker feel free to speak. Remember their needs and concerns. Nod or use other gestures or words to encourage them to continue. Maintain eye contact. Show that you're listening and show that you understand what's being said. Number 4, remove distractions. Don't doodle or shuffle papers or look at your phone or look out the window. Avoid any unnecessary interruptions if you can, and focus on the person who's speaking. Number 5, empathize. Try to understand the other person's point of view. When we listen, we are trying to develop an understanding of what the other person is saying and also what the other person is feeling, what their perspective is. So put yourself in their shoes and empathize. Number 6, be patient. A pause, even a long pause when someone's speaking, doesn't necessarily mean the speaker is finished. Be patient and allow them space to finish what they're saying. Number 7, avoid prejudice. Try to be impartial. Don't become irritated and don't let the person's habits or mannerisms distract you from what the speaker is really saying. Everyone has a different way of speaking. And some people are more nervous, some people are louder, some people are slower. Allow people to be themselves. Number 8, listen to the tone. Volume and tone add to what someone's saying, and a good speaker will use both volume and tone to their advantage to keep you interested and engaged, to give you a sense of what they're trying to say. So pay attention to tone and volume. Number 9, listen for ideas, not just words. Try to get the whole picture of what someone's trying to say to you, not just bits and pieces. Try to think, what is the person trying to tell me as a whole? And number 10, wait and watch for non-verbal communication. And we'll look at this again in a moment. This means looking for gestures, facial expressions, eye movements, the way we stand, and so on. These are important parts of communication, and they're things that we can pay attention to when we're listening. Now, I mentioned a moment ago this phrase non-verbal communication, and I just want to look at that for a moment. So, a lot of what we say and a lot of what we hear is not expressed verbally with speech, but through other ways, and we call this non-verbal communication. So there are different types of non-verbal communication, and I'm just going to run through some of them for you now. Body movements, for example, hand gestures, nodding, shaking the head. This is a very common part of non-verbal communication. Posture, how you stand, how you sit, whether your arms are crossed, whether you seem defensive, and so on. Eye contact, where the amount of eye contact often determines the level of trust or trustworthiness. Paralanguage, by which we mean pitch, tone, speed of speaking, and we talked about this a moment ago. Closeness or personal space, how close we are with that other person, how much space we're taking up near to them, and this often shows or determines the level of intimacy that we have with that person. Facial expressions, smiling, frowning, even blinking. And any other physical changes, for example, sweating, blinking when nervous, shaking when nervous, and so on. These are all things that we can keep an eye on when we're listening, and they all help us both to communicate with others and to understand what others are feeling and thinking when they're communicating with us. So let's just summarise what we've just been learning. We can all become more effective communicators. We just need to work at it like any other skill. It also helps to understand your own strengths and weaknesses as a communicator. So think about that. Where are you strong and where can you improve? Speaking is a critical part of how we communicate, and we can become better, clearer speakers if we work at it. Listening is equally important, and we can become more active listeners, more mindful listeners, if we follow the techniques that I outlined earlier on. Non-verbal communication is also critical. We often do this automatically, but we can also think about and improve on our non-verbal communication, the way we stand, the gestures that we use, our facial expressions, and so on. And ultimately, if we can become better communicators, better speakers, better listeners, better with our non-verbal communication, this all contributes to us becoming more professional and more employable. Now, for your learning activity, I'd like you to do something quite simple. I'd like you to have a conversation. It can be with someone in your family, a friend, someone you work with. Have that conversation and really, really focus on listening. Take on board what I was saying to you earlier. Don't interrupt. Really consider how the other person's feeling. Try to think about their language and their non-verbal communication. What are the ideas they're really trying to share with you? So the job is to become an active listener, to really focus on listening. Take away distractions. Put your phone away. Just focus on the person speaking. And then write down what that makes you feel like. And also, if you can, ask the person you're speaking to and you're listening to what it made them feel like.